Well, this meme brought back memories, and the story starts in the 8th grade. I was in my computer typing class because our school made us take an elective typing class because they believed it to be necessary for like future use in computers and stuff, and it did help. Me and a bunch of kids always would like race in the typing uh, like program that we used to see who was the fastest at typing words per minute till our hands cramped. But this particular story, I'm not going to use his real name, but let's just call him Mr. Uh, Mr. N because his first name starts with an N. Uh, well, in that same class, we had a substitute, and and we basically were given, oh, uh, just do this little word sheet, which was one page, one question, while the teacher was out. And this substitute that we had, we'll call her Miss A. Uh, Everyone knew who she was, and she could be pretty chill sometimes, but she always seemed kind of pissed off all the time. And at this time, Regular Show was probably at the height of its popularity, and at the time, um, uh, that must have, thinking back, that might have been a nightmare for some teachers. But Mr. N kept making Muscle Man jokes at everything, and the substitute teacher, for some reason, she got all offended about it. And oh, how'd your so she turns to him and says, does your mom know you speak about her that way?" And he's like, "Hey, yeah." And you know who else knows that I speak about my mom that way? My mom. And she pulls out on his uh like oh wait, no, she didn't pull out his info card. She just had him dial the number for his mom's phone on the school phone. And, and he gets on the phone and uh hit at first. Let me backtrack a little bit. She dials his mom's number, or she answers. His mom answers the phone. She's like, "Hello, Mrs. N. This is Mrs. A with C High School, and I'd like you to know that your son is disrupting class and talking and disrespectfully about you. He's been and saying a joke that ends with my mom all the time, all throughout class, and it's disrupting class." And to that, I say complete bullshit, because we weren't doing anything in that class, as everyone had gotten everything done, everyone had turned in their paperwork, and we had been told, oh, uh, do whatever you want, uh, just and talk among yourselves, or play Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. And so we kind of thought that this teacher was being gonna be cool, but I guess not. And the irony of it was she wasn't much older than just out of college, so maybe she just missed the bus on this show. But Mr. N had the shit eating grin on his face, and he pretty much plucks the phone out of her hand and puts it up to his ear. And he's like, "Hey, mom." Uh, and actually, it was more like, "Hey, mom." But he still had, he like put on this like, like, "Oh, I'm in trouble" voice, but his face said, "Oh, this is gonna be great," because uh, he he was a pretty cool guy, but uh, his mom asked him, "What did he do?" And he was like, "Oh, you know that show? Oh, that I watch all the time. Yeah, that we watch together. Yeah, remember Muscle Man?" And you can hear from the receiver or his mom laughing her ass off, and he tells him to hand the phone back to the teacher, and the teacher says in a like the most defeated voice, "Yes, ma'am," and hangs up. Uh, and Mr. N comes back over to our group, and we're like, "What did you say?" And he's like all I had to say is, "You remember Muscle Man? My mom watches that show with me." And that's the story of how Mr. N's mom watches regular show.